Excuse the hair, excuse the face. Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm gonna be doing a part 2 to the first time mom tag. Got my laptop here again. The reason that this wasn't just one video is because after I filmed the first one, I was looking through the questions, because there's 70 questions on this one. I was looking past 50, so 50 to 70, and the questions were really freaking good. So I decided to make another bowl of pho. This one is just regular beef, meatless, but oh, I forgot the hot sauce or the garlic sauce. Anyway, I'm gonna show you guys before I dig in. This time I went out, I got my green onion, I got my, what else? I forgot ginger, but I got green onion, cilantro, and yeah, so let me go grab the hot sauce and let's get right on into it. This is what I use on everything. This is just chili garlic sauce. I use this on everything. It's looking a little bit mashed up, but I'm just gonna top that on there. Adds a little bit of flavor to the pho. So I'll show you guys. Let me just get the rest off of there. I didn't do this in my last video, so you know. But yeah, guys, I seen the rest of the questions on this tag and I was like, I gotta redo it. I gotta do a part 2. I have to come back and answer some more questions. So here we are with our first time mom tag part 2 with our beef pho. The last pho that I made was just satay, beef satay. I'm not a vegetarian or anything, but I don't know where to get the meat sliced thinly like they usually do. Not bad. Okay. Now this recipe, just off of Google, but I have, what is it called? I've like done it my own way. And I'm actually really starving, so I just want to get a couple bites in before I answer these questions. Starving. Got my lime. See, I'm moving too fast. My limes are hard. Don't do this to me right now. What that one is. There we go. I bought limes a week ago for the sole purpose of this video, or these videos, and yeah, we're a little bit late. Let me just get a couple more bites in, guys, before. Okay. After this one, let's start answering these tag questions. This is where I stopped. What, have you ever slapped your child? So, I don't think so. Okay. What will you do if your child dies? What would I do if my child died? So if you guys didn't know, because I haven't done a video about myself, but I am very, very, very interested in crime documentaries, serial killer, and I actually just watched one from Crime Beat, and basically that is a YouTube channel that tells stories about death within Canada. And I just watched one on Tori Stafford. By the way, this is lemonade. Love lemonade. So I just watched one on Tori Stafford, and I really don't know how these parents that go through like kidnappings and then their child coming up murdered, I don't know how they go through that. I don't know how they do it. They're so strong, because if it was me, I would probably kill somebody. Like, I don't know. I would. So I guess it wouldn't even matter how they died. Because I feel like if my child died anyway, I'd be devastated. Like, I don't know. I don't know how these parents do it. Death is crazy. Death is really crazy. But yeah, if my child died, it would depend how they died, because I feel like I would be affected in a different way. Not affected, but I feel like I would, if my child was murdered by somebody, I would lose my fucking shit. Like, but if it was by natural causes, I still feel like I would lose my shit, but I wouldn't be out here searching for a killer, you know? I want more spice. I feel like I was so rushed today. This is not a bad broth. I just feel like it's watered down a little bit, because when I was boiling the broth, you know, when the steam lets out, it just kind of boils down. So I feel like my broth was boiled down, so I just added a little bit more water. So I feel like I probably could have maybe put in, because I didn't use beef bones, I just used beef stock, and I have this beef cube. I probably could have put that in, but I didn't. Have you ever prepared something for your child after your death? So even though I know people die young, I'm only 25, so I don't think I've thought about making a will or anything for my child. No, sorry, making a will for me, for my child, but you know, life is so short. It would probably be a good idea. But if I died, I feel like my money would go to her. Probably most of my possessions would go to her. Tell 3 changes you felt between a married life and after becoming a mom. So I'm just gonna answer this in a different way, because as you guys know, I'm not married. From single life, you know, before a baby till now, the 3 changes. Definitely my sleep. My sleep is one of the biggest changes. I feel like I sleep, but it's like I don't sleep the same. 3 changes. Sex life has completely changed. Sex and relationship. I feel like that's another thing that's changed quite a bit. My relationship and sex life. 3 changes you felt. Physically, I felt those changes. My body is completely different. It looks different. It feels different. But even after all the changes I've gone through, I don't think I'd want to go back to being single or like not having a baby. You know, like you can't really just get up and go anywhere, because now you have to think, okay, what about my child? How are we gonna get there? Who's gonna watch my child? That kind of stuff. But I mean, you just adapt, right? Husband or children? Who is your first priority now? Definitely my child. definitely my child. I try to prioritize my boyfriend as much as I can, but you know, it's hard. You know, you gotta feed a baby, you gotta change the baby, you gotta put the baby down for a nap, and then you also have to eat, you have to shower, you have to sleep, and then you have to also take care of the baby while you do that. So it's kind of hard. That's why I keep saying, like, the relationship is probably one of the hardest things to try and maintain, you and your baby daddy, because it's hard. There's like so much things going on in your life that you almost not forget, but you know. Is a daughter the best friend of the mother or the son? I feel like it depends on the dynamic, because some girls are more, what's it called? Like, they're more outdoorsy, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course women can be outdoorsy, but you know, maybe they like sports a little bit more, so they like to be with the dad more. I feel like if I added more beef stock to this and just made it more beefy, would have been amazing. This right now I'm giving it like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 5 to 6 out of 10. Make 2 pieces of advice to a Make 2 pieces of advice for a mother to be. Advice: sleep as much as you can during pregnancy. Physically prepare for what's to come next, because well, you can't even, like, that's why when people would tell me, you know, try to sleep as much as you can, relax as much as you can when you're pregnant, like, what more can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what, go out, get your nails done, stuff like that. But I feel like relax, take as much time as you can while you're pregnant, because once the baby comes, you almost don't really have a lot of time for yourself. So definitely take some time for yourself, being one. And a second piece of advice for a mother to be: don't rush. You know, don't try to rush your healing. Don't try to rush yourselves. You know, just take your time with everything, because you don't want to injure yourself, especially when you're trying to heal after birth. Also ask for help if you need it, because there's, you know, people like to help after birth and stuff. So yeah. Oh, another piece of advice that I had to learn the hard way. I guess your nipples don't go back to normal. Well, they go somewhat back to normal, but what you have now is probably what you're gonna have. Well, that's what Courtney told me. And, you know, I've been trusting everything Courtney's told me this far, because it's like all been true, so. What was the hardest thing while having a baby? Is this like during birth, or what does this mean? After having it? Well, during birth, the hardest thing, not being able to fucking eat, because I was hungry. Hardest thing while having a baby. If we're talking about after birth and, you know, you're just at home doing whatever, I keep saying this, but, you know, having time with you and your baby daddy, husband, whatever, I feel like that's the hardest thing. Now I can see why so many relationships fail after a baby, because it's hard. It's really hard. After becoming a mom, did your love increase for your mother? Yes, it did. My mother has been such a tremendous help during pregnancy, after pregnancy, you know, driving me to my appointments, coming over, watching my daughter when I need someone to watch her, because, you know, I'm tired and, you know, me and my baby daddy need to sleep. So yeah, my love has definitely increased. I have a newfound appreciation for my mom. 100%. 100%. What would you do if someone bullies your child or children? Yo, I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up to the school. I'm pulling up to this child's house. I don't care what. I was bullied as a child. Okay, so I know how it feels. And let somebody bully my child. That's all I gotta say. We pulling up. We are pulling up. I don't give a shit. What 3 habits you want to see in your children as they grow up? What are 3 habits? You know what? Like, I said this before. I don't know who wrote this, but they need to edit it. I don't know if this is a habit, but one thing I want my children to do, and that I want to see them, is being very polite, using manners, saying thank you, please after everything. That's a habit that I would be really happy to see if my children did it. And as they grow up, just being very polite. I don't really know. I guess we'll just keep on going. In which hospital was your first child born? This is how the question was worded. In which hospital your first child was born? My child was born in the Misericordia. If you're in Edmonton, then you know that's a West End hospital. A lot of people say it's dirty, but it's just an older building. I didn't have a problem. Well, it's really big and you kind of get lost in it if you don't know where the hell you're going. To me, it wasn't as bad as everyone says it is. I had a really positive birth experience. Not so much the postpartum experience, like recovery. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and I do have a postpartum video that is gonna be coming eventually, but yeah, I didn't like the postpartum care, the recovery care. I felt that, I know it's COVID and everything, but I just felt forgotten. I wasn't getting water sometimes, and my pads, I had to go and ask for more ice pads. So I didn't really care for the recovery in the hospital, but the birth, I was just like, wow. I wanted one of my nurses who delivered my baby, who helped deliver, I wanted her to come with me, but she couldn't. What was your favorite food during the pregnancy days? First trimester, I know you're not supposed to, but I was eating sushi. Not like full out raw sushi. I was eating California rolls. Second trimester, I wasn't really craving nothing, to be honest. I wasn't craving food like that. But so it was sushi, California rolls. I wanted those so bad. Third trimester is kind of when I wanted different kind of foods. But I was very, not fishy, but I wanted a lot of like shrimp, crab, sushi. I wanted stuff like that. And then lemonade in my third trimester. I don't know why I was craving sour stuff, but lemonade was like a big hit when I was in my third trimester. I don't know why, but it was. What was your feeling seeing your first newborn baby? I was amazed. I was excited. But my birth experience, I'm gonna explain, because I already explained kind of in my other video. I'm gonna link all the videos down in the description box, but my baby was whisked away from me. But the one thing that I do remember was they put her on my chest and we locked eyes. And I was just like, just amazed. And then they took her from me because she wasn't, I don't know if she was breathing, but she had like fluid in her lungs. So yeah, but I was so happy. Like, I was so happy that I couldn't even feel my happiness. That doesn't make sense, but I was just shocked. I was like, wow. I was just amazed and happy. Just amazed and happy. I was like, damn, I can't believe I just delivered Can't believe I've been having so much fun. Like, I was laughing with the nurses. My birth experience was just fun. I liked it. Who named your child / children? So initially, my baby daddy wanted to name it if we had a girl. And I guess had to name it if we were having a boy. But I was like, no, I'm not doing that because I already know deep in my soul that I'm having a girl. I was dreaming about her. You know, I just knew I was having a girl. So I told him, you know, like, you're not naming her. Give me the names that you want to name her because I need to see. And the names my baby daddy was giving me was just, I was like, no. And I wanted to incorporate my grandma because when my grandma passed away, I had a dream. This was before I was pregnant. This was right after my grandma passed away in 2018. My mom gave birth to a baby and it was a girl. And I just knew it was my grandmother reincarnated. My grandma and my mom had this weird relationship. Like, it was a mother-daughter relationship, even though my parents weren't together. Like, they were together and then they separated. So even though they weren't together, my grandma still had this really close connection with my mom. So this dream, my mom was this baby's mom, but I knew that the baby was my grandmother. And I remember in my dream saying, like, this is my grandmother reincarnated. And I was telling my sister. So for my daughter, I wanted to incorporate my grandmother in the name. And I really liked the name Naya. My baby daddy didn't want our baby to be named Naya. So I was looking and looking, and then I was like, what if we add an A? And it was Anaya. Either way, like, I figured out, you know, having Anna in the name. So I told him, you know, do you like Anaya? And he said, yeah. And we were going through different, like, versions of spelling. And my baby daddy, he's Muslim, and he wanted he wants the baby's name to be in, I think, the Quran, or like a prophet name. So I was on the bus one day. It's very weird, like, too much coincidences. So I was on the bus and I was like maybe 6 or 7 months pregnant. And this woman was sitting behind me. I remember I was going to my mom's house. This woman was sitting behind me. And me and this other woman, before we got on the bus, I was talking to this other woman. And we were talking about baby names. And we got on the bus. This woman behind me was asking me, like, what is the baby's name? I told her, you know, we're thinking about Anaya, but you know, we're just trying to figure out spelling. And this woman was like, I told her my boyfriend wants it to be like a prophet name, so, because he's Muslim. And she said, you know what, that name is in the Bible, you should spell it like this. And so we spelled it how we spell it now, but she was like, yeah, the name is in the Bible. It is a unisex name. But yeah, it was very weird. And then I got off the bus and I was just like, wow, there you go. So yeah, I feel like we both had a say in the name, but I was the one that came up with the idea. A mother or father? Who is most necessary for the children? Well, let's just be honest. Of course, both are necessary, but I feel like if you had to choose one or the other, definitely the mother. You know, we make the food. Well, some of us do. Not me. But we make the food. We're just, like, physically supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we carry the baby. Like, we were made for the baby, and the baby was made for us. So I feel like a mother, probably the mother. But then at the same time, you do need a father. But I feel like a mother. You know, the motherly influence is just, everyone needs a mother. Have you still kept the toys and clothes for your children? I probably will. My mother did. And if you guys watched my pregnancy hauls, I got hella clothes for my baby. not so much toys, but yeah, we keep in the toys, we keep in the clothes. I think I'm already thinking about baby number 2 for some odd reason, but I want 2, maybe 3 kids, and I ain't trying to shop for no more clothes. I already know I'm gonna have a boy next time, so we're gonna have to, you know, buy more clothes, but I probably will keep my daughter's clothes, well, some of them, and toys. Do you ever wish that your children may marry according to your choice? Not to my choice. I want my children to marry whoever they love, who loves them back, not some, but you know, it can't be a terrible toxic relationship. So of course I want them to be in a healthy, stable relationship and marry whoever they love and who treats them right. But I don't want to choose, you know? I want them to choose their partner. I don't think my baby father's gonna do arranged marriages. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't want to do that for my daughter or my son or my children, whatever. I'd want them to choose their partner. What did your husband say about the birth of your first child? So, COVID birth. Let's talk about COVID birth. This will probably be my last question because the rest of these questions are not too good. We're on 70 right now. How does your husband react each time after knowing about pregnancy? Like, I don't understand what that's trying to get at. Okay, this will be my second last question. So, what did your husband say about the birth of your first child? So, we are in COVID, so I could only have one person in the hospital room with me giving birth. That was my baby daddy, that was my boyfriend. So, the nurse, everything was going well. When I was in labor, because I had the epidural, he was holding my leg, and the nurse that was helping me push, Nurse Lisa, shout out to her, she wanted him to come look at my vagina because, what was it? Like, when my daughter was down lower in the canal, you could see her hair because she just has, like, imagine a baby with hair like this. Not as long, but like a baby with thick hair. Like, you could not see the scalp. So when she was coming out of my hole, all you seen in here was black. Like, literally black. So he was taking a video. She was like, take a video, take a picture, because you're never gonna experience anything like this. So he had his phone out. Even though, is my daughter awake? I'm hearing shit. She's asleep right now, thank the Lord. He was very calm on the outside. I thought that he wasn't freaking out, but after we had the baby and he was back here, he was telling me, like, I did not want to look. Like, she had me looking in her coochie. He was telling my mom this. The nurse had me looking in the coochie hole. Like, I seen it. Apparently I was shitting on the table. He's like, I seen her poo. I could smell it. But he was very calm and collected during birth. I think that was, yeah, about the birth of the child. So he was very calm in the birth room, and the fact that he just wasn't showing his emotion, I like that, because if he would have been there like looking at my vagina all crazy, I would have been like, oh God. But when I was pooing, when I was pushing, he was very supportive, and even though he wasn't freaking out, you know, he smelled my poo. He's seen her head. He has a video of my vagina spread open. But what he would say is it was probably nasty, you know. It stunk. Not my cootie. Not my cootie cat. But you know, cuz everybody's going to poo. Everybody's going to poo. If you're giving a vaginal birth, you're going to poo. So it stunk is probably what he would say. It stunk. It was crazy. But yeah, I'm surprised and I'm really thankful that he was not looking crazy and that he hid his emotions. I don't like when he hides his emotions any other time, but if he's gonna do that during birth, then he can be my support person every time. Okay, so my last question, guys. My foot is now cold and I'm pretty full. Last question. Share 3 experiences of the difference in pregnant life and life as a mother. Okay, one difference. So of course, I mentioned this before in my other video. You love the child that's in you, you bond with that baby, but once you see them, like the biggest difference between pregnancy and being a mother, I feel like your love that you have for the baby is like multiplied by a million, trillion, gazillion, badillion. Like, of course, you know, you bond with the baby, but when it's there and you see the baby and you get to just watch the baby grow up a little bit, even in the first couple months, like, it's crazy. The love that you have for your child, that's the biggest difference, I guess, pregnancy and motherhood. Not having to lay on my side all night. I can sleep on my stomach. I can lay on my stomach. But the difference in pregnant life and life as a mother, I feel like I've matured. I've grown a lot. And I've learned a lot about myself. I guess one difference would be when you're pregnant, you have to protect your stomach, but now that the baby's out, now you have to physically protect your child. Now it's not watching what you eat, going to bed on time, taking prenatals. Now it's like physically, how am I gonna feed the baby that's out here now? How am I gonna take care of it? How am I gonna clothe it? All that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's another big difference between the two. And I'm only gonna give 2 guys, but yeah, I feel like those are the biggest differences, because now that the baby's here, you know, it's real. Not that it wasn't real, but it's more real now. Okay guys, so that was the part 2 to my first time mom tag. I really enjoyed doing this. I love eating, so it was fun to eat and film a video. But if you guys like the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Next time I do a tag, I'm not gonna rush through it. Well, I couldn't even help it last time because my daughter was crying. But I'm gonna try not to rush through it so I can actually finish it and not have to do 2 different videos. But yeah guys, I will see you next time.